All right, so this is for the topographic profile practice. So these are topographic maps, and the key is typically down at the bottom of the map. In that key, it tells you the contour interval, which in this case is 10 meters. It also tells you if there are depression contour lines, which show a dip in the Earth's surface. It'll also show you the compass rose. I always like to fill out my compass rose. And then it also shows you the distance here, or the scaled distance. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to find the elevation of these points. So the first point here is B. Now since we have the ocean, that means that this very first line is 0. It's sea level. So our contour interval is 10. So that means that location B is 1 line up, or 10 meters. Location E is here on this index contour, which is labeled. So we're just going to follow that line, and it is 50 meters. Point N, again, is on an index contour, so that is 50 meters. And then point A is inside our depression. So our depression means it goes down. So this is 20. We're counting down this time. So that means that location at A is 10 meters. All right, something else that you're going to need to learn how to do is calculate the gradient. So I'm going to show you one practice, and then you're going to practice on your own. So the gradient, the formula for that is on the front cover of your ESRT. So that is the change in field value over the distance. When we say change, that means that you're going to subtract and then divide by the distance. So we're going to go from C to B. So location C has an elevation of 50. Location B has an elevation of 10. And then we're going to find the distance. To do that, you're going to use some scrap paper. You're going to make a mark at C and make a mark at B. And bring it down to our scale here. Line up one side with 0. The other one is at 2 kilometers. So 50 minus 10 is 40. 40 divided by 2 is 20. So our gradient is 20 meters per kilometer. So you're going to do that one on your own worksheet. So number 3, which direction is Amethyst River flowing, and how do you know? So here's Amethyst River. And there's a catchy little tune that you can sing to remember how streams flow. So it's contour lines point upstream, doo-dah, doo-dah. So here's our contour line. It's pointing upstream. So that means that our river is flowing in the opposite direction. So Amethyst River, for example, is flowing westward. And we know this because contour lines point upstream. All right. And last but not least, we're going to draw our topographic profile. So to do this, this one is from D to E. So we're going to come up to our map here, and we're going to line up Scrappy. We're going to make a mark at D, and we're going to make a mark at E. And we're also going to label these elevations. So D is 50, and E is also 50. So now as we go across the paper, every time a contour line comes in contact with our Scrappy, we're going to make a mark. We're also going to label elevation. So remember our contour interval is 10 meters. So this next one is 40, and then 30, and then 20. This is a river, so I always like to label rivers. And if you notice, I labeled down. Now we're going to go back up because we need to get to 50. So this is 20, 30, and 40. So we've got our information. Now we're going to go to our graph. And we're first going to label this. So let me pause for a second and I'll be right back. All right, so each line represents 10 meters. So now we're going to plot our points. So we're going to line Scrappy up with the bottom here. And we're going to translate these elevations onto our map. So we're going to have 50, 40, 30, 20, then we have our 20 again, our 30, 40, and 50. So those contour lines over here were really close, so that means that our slope is steep, versus here where they're pretty spread apart. It's important to note where the rivers are, because when we're drawing our topographic profile, we're going to create an indent for the river. So we're taking our 2D and we're making it 3D. And we're going to connect the points with a smooth curved line, dipping down where the river is, but not going over 10 because there's no 10 mark on our paper, and then coming up. Okay? You're going to do the same thing for topographic profile B and C as well.